I was diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago. And since then, I have really made it my mission to really help other mums because I don't feel that there's enough support out there. And cancer is such a taboo subject, and yet it affects so many of us. So the Cancer Mum Cheerleader was born because I want to be able to help as many mums as possible, to help raise awareness, to help educate and break the stigma that is around cancer. So today we have the lovely Lisa, who is going to be sharing her story with us. So yeah, let's dive in. So Lisa, can you tell me a bit about yourself and what life looks like before cancer?
Well, I guess I was very, very busy before cancer. I've done a lot of things. I've done beauty, I've baked for a living, I've run a pub, coffee
Oh
shops, you
wow.
name it. I was doing everything, day and night, literally. So yeah, life is quite different now to what it was before. Um, so yeah, I just got stopped in my tracks basically. I think, I was just getting on with life as well as having two kids. Um, and I was poorly for years. I'd say about 3 years I was going to the GP. And obviously it's a cry for help, isn't it? I knew there was something wrong and I wasn't getting answers, and it took such a long
Mm.
time to eventually get there. But yeah, I struggled basically, like many others. I think a lot of people that you'll speak to went to the GP or had problems for a number amount of years before anyone actually listened and took
Mm.
it seriously. And unfortunately for me, that was never my GP. I took myself to hospital, basically, checked in. I'd had enough, I one day I wasn't well at all, and I
Mm.
just went to A&E, and they said, "What's wrong?" And I just said, "I think I'm dying." And they looked at me like I was going crazy, like I was
Mm.
an absolute mental patient that should have checked in somewhere else. Um, so it went from there, really. So
No. So, I mean, so what type of cancer were you diagnosed with, and how did it all sort of thing come about?
so it came about that obviously I went to A&E. They did a blood test, and you have to, obviously at A&E you've got to wait hours for those. So I was
Hmm.
for a couple of hours. By this point, I just had nothing left. Nothing left. My symptoms were just complete exhaustion. I couldn't function. If someone like knocked on my door, I couldn't talk to them without sitting down. It got to that point. And then my bloods came back, and they just said, they brought out a wheelchair, and I was like, "Oh, why have you got a wheelchair?" I drove myself here, and they said, "Well, we don't know how you're standing. I don't know how you're even here." And I had no hemoglobin. I needed five blood. Was it five? Yeah, five blood transfusions and iron transfusions. Um, so after that, my life just consisted of going to the hospital, having blood. I stayed in hospital then for blood transfusions, had a CT scan, had the colonoscopy. You get put on a 2 week cancer pathway, which a lot of people will know about. Um, yeah, and it was all just, I still didn't then think, oh, it could be bowel cancer, because
Yeah.
actually no one ever spoke of bowel cancer. It wasn't a thing at all. I hadn't heard of it. I didn't know the symptoms. I didn't know that what I was experiencing could be bowel cancer.
Mm.
Um, that was the GP's job to know that. And they let me down because I was showing all the symptoms. I went to them saying that, obviously I'm going to talk a lot about poo in this chat because that's what my life
Definitely.
revolves around. That's a stigma. um I was saying to the doctors, my stools are not the right colour. They weren't red, but they were black. And, they
Mm.
were putting me on iron and they were like, iron makes your stools go black. And I got to a point where I was like, this isn't normal. I feel like this every time I go to the toilet, I'm having this. Um, and they said at the hospital, are you passing blood out of your rectum? And I said, oh, I don't think so, but it's always black. Like my doctor said, it's probably iron. So they examined me, and I won't go into the ins and outs of that, but
Mm.
he just said, that's just blood. All you've got coming out of you is blood. And I was like, but my GP said, he said, I don't care what your GP said. What is coming out of you is blood. And
Wow.
I'd had pains, really, really bad pains in my stomach for ages and ages. Um, so yeah, and then I had all the tests done. I didn't actually find out it was cancer. I found out in a really bizarre way. I think I was in having tests and I was an inpatient and they gave me my discharge letters and I went home to wait for more tests. And
Mm.
on that discharge letter, it said there's a mass. And I kind of just thought, last thing I thought of was cancer. And I just thought, oh God, a mass could be anything. Like a mass, they call it a mass if it's like whatever. And
Mm.
then the next day, I had a phone call from the cancer nurses, the colorectal nurses, and and I was like, "Why are you calling me?" And she said, "Oh, has no one told you that I'm really sorry. You've got bowel cancer."
Oh
Um,
my God.
so I was just sitting in my living room thinking I was all right, and the next thing I've got cancer nurses calling me, um, and she said, it's quite bad. The cancer's not early stages. I've probably had it, I reckon I'd had it for at least 3 years before anything got diagnosed. So that was quite
Mm.
scary. And then the next thing I knew, I was having surgeries and yeah, life just stopped basically. Literally stopped. I couldn't work. I wasn't well enough. And then I had surgeries and I was recovering from that. And yeah, it's been a long, what is it, 3 years? Or
Blimey.
I think, yeah, it's been a lot. There's been a lot of horrible experiences, horrible,
Mm.
not just surgeries, but all the oncology meetings, and it spread a lot as well. It spread quite quickly to my liver. It had already spread to my liver actually before, like when I got diagnosed. And then, yeah, then it spread to my lining of my stomach. Or the whole peritoneum was covered. So yeah, it's not good. Not good.
I'm just going to just interrupt you. Is your Wi-Fi okay? Because you're showing glitchy on my side.
Oh, yeah.
But is your Wi-Fi okay? I don't know if it's just me or if anyone can write in the comments. Is Lisa glitchy?
Oh, sorry if I am. Let me just check. I'll check it. Hang on. I'm pretty sure it's okay. Hang on. Bear with, bear with. Anyone said whether I'm
No,
glitching?
no, no one said. There's 8 people on, so can someone say whether or not Lisa is glitchy or not? Because I don't know whether or not it's just my screen. Yeah, someone said it is a bit pixelated.
My Wi-Fi seems to be okay.
Visual's glitchy, but can hear her totally perfectly.
Oh, if they can't see my face, it's not such a bad thing.
Be
As
like,
long
if
as I can
you
hear my voice, that's all right. I can't do
okay,
much about that because I'm not, as you know well, I'm not very tech savvy, but we have just joined a really good network.
okay. No, everyone's saying that they can still hear you fine, so that's fine.
Right,
We'll
we'll leave it at
continue.
that. I might just try
Yeah.
and mute, and then that
Just
might
a funky live then.
help. All right, hopefully that improves. Sorry. So yeah,
Um,
carry on.
right. So Okay, where were we? So yeah, you've had cancer for 3 years and not even known. I mean, I can't even like imagine like
Yeah.
how you would come to terms with that and then to know then that it spread. I mean, how did you then like tell your family?
Um, that was hard. I didn't. It was hard telling my close friends and my family, but when it first started, I was under the impression that I was gonna be fine, and I was just quite strong. I'm still am
Mm,
now, but I was just like, I've got cancer. Um, it's not um early stages, and I just said, went come out with it, and that was hard. But I think mostly as a mum, it was my kids. Like I was most worried about telling, um, because I don't know, you just don't ever think that you've got to turn around to your kids and say, Mum's got cancer. And kids automatically assume that if you've got cancer, you're going to die. It's
hmm.
just the way they think. They associate cancer with death. So
Yeah.
they were obviously scared, but I was strong, and I have been to this day. And, I said to them, your mum, she's strong. I'm strong. I'm gonna do everything. Like just, and I was very honest, but certain things were like a need to know basis. They obviously,
Mm,
because I had to go, it wasn't just cancer treatment, I had to go in for long periods of time for surgery. um, a big part of their life was me just not there. I was in hospital or I was recovering, um, and I was just, obviously I just said to them that I need the surgeries. They've got to cut this cancer out, and I've got to get better, and I've got to try and do everything I can. Um,
mm,
but they've been amazing, and I don't know, you don't realize how strong and resilient children are until you've got something like that going on. And I think they appreciate life a lot more now,
mm.
like I do. Like they're so grateful, and they're so just, I don't know, they love me and I love them so much. And I just think every little bit of time now that we have is so special, and we don't
Yeah.
say it, we don't say why, but it's like an unsaid thing in my house that we all,
Mm,
that we're lucky, and we've just got to keep living and do all them special things, because you just don't know. You
no.
just don't know. And I was diagnosed terminal, was it 2022? Yeah, that was horrible. That was probably the worst part of this, because I had an oncology appointment booked for after Christmas. Um, I think it was the 29th of that year that I was due to come in. And then I got a phone call saying, could you come in on the 19th of December? I need to see you sooner. And
Mm,
obviously, in my head, I thought, oh Christ, like, why has she got to see me sooner? But then that other part of me was like, well, maybe because it's right before Christmas, she's going to give me good news. And like, she wants to give me good news before Christmas, but it wasn't.
mm.
She told me that year that that would be my last Christmas.
Oh
So
my
she,
God.
she got me in on the 19th, and she said that this will most likely be your last Christmas. I wanted to tell you before, the cancer spread. It's too much, basically, too much cancer. Um, and I was given 6 months, and that was that. So, yeah, but in true style of my own, I did use bad language in the oncology meeting, and I was like, F that. No.
Absolutely.
Do you know what the weirdest thing for me was I didn't look, I've never looked like I've got cancer. I've never
No.
looked ill. I've never looked ill. I've never felt like I was dying, apart from when I was really poorly and I needed to be diagnosed. And I thought to myself, like, there's no way this is going in 6 months. Like, no. I was like, I've got good skin, I've got good hair, I feel good, like, apart from all the surgeries and the cancer treatment, whatever.
Mm.
But apart from that, I was like, no. I was like, I'm not going to be one of them statistics. I'm not going to accept that you're telling me that I've got 6 months. Obviously, that Christmas was sad and I wasn't myself. And of course, it wasn't the best Christmas because I've got in the back of my mind, I'm going to pop my clogs in 6 months. But then,
Yeah.
so I just thought to myself, I just made a pact with myself to just get on with it and live like I've got all the life in the world, and just, yeah, basically not to accept it. And that was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? More than 2 years ago. Um, that's 3 years this Christmas ago that I was told that I had 6 months to live. And um, yeah, I was like,
I think that's the thing. I think it's all to do. I think mindset really does come into it.
hmm
Because I think, especially when you have kids, it's a case of, well, because I was just like, I was like, as soon as, like, the first evening that I then found out, I remember looking at my kids and being like, I'm not leaving you. Like, there's no way.
yeah,
And it's just, I think when you have then that mindset that whatever I've been told the prognosis is, whatever, the diagnosis is, I'm going to fight, because you have to fight. You can't give up. You just have to fight. Like, especially if you're a mum, like, you have to fight.
yeah. Everyone, obviously, you get a lot of people saying, "Oh, you're so strong," and how
Mm,
you do it. Well, the answer to that is that you just don't have a choice.
no, exactly.
But I mean, a lot of people do choose just to write themselves off. Once you get told,
Mm,
um, a lot of people tend to act like it's over and everything. And as devastating as it is, I just didn't accept it, and I will not accept it ever, I don't think, until my time is up. Like, there will be no part of me that accepts that that is my time over. um like, I do things in stages. So I had a thing in my head of, I need to see my eldest go up to secondary school, and that'll be my first thing ticked off. And now it's,
mm,
I want to see my youngest go up to secondary school and get that done. And I don't look at the whole picture. I do it in stages. Um, so I never thought that I would be able to do that, because that was obviously a couple of years off, and I thought, I'm not even going to see my eldest go off to secondary school. But I have, and I've done it, and I feel okay. Um, and what's happened to me is unbelievable, because they put me on palliative treatment. um, I was on palliative immunotherapy for 2 years. They didn't think that I'd make that 2 years,
mm,
because not only my prognosis, but also the fact that the treatment will probably destroy my liver.
right.
Um, and it did affect my liver, but I did do the 2 years. But I did a lot of work on myself in that time. I did, um, you know, the things I changed in my life, like food, what I drink. I did a lot, and I think it probably helped, along with being
Mm,
positive, to actually get through the whole treatment. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, and now, she put me on this treatment for palliative reasons to give me like 6 more months or something. And the last oncology meeting I had, she said she can't see anything. There's nothing there. So how that's happened, I don't know, but it has, and there's nothing visible on the CT scan. So something that she thought would stabilize it and give me 6 more months,
Mm.
I've actually not got anything. on my
I
peritoneum.
mean, so what does that mean then? Like,
So because I'm terminal, you can't go unterminal. You're going to be, I'm terminal. I've got terminal
mm,
cancer. I'm living with terminal cancer. So the likelihood is that I've got microscopic cancer within my body. I refuse the PET scan. I don't want a scan that's going to show me microscopic cancer when
mm,
I know it's there, but what's it going to change apart
yeah,
from me, my mental health getting worse, knowing that it's all in there. So now I've sort of exhausted the cancer treatments. So I am just having scans every 3 months. And she's told me that it's going to grow back. We don't know when, we don't know where. But obviously, I don't know. I don't know that she thinks it's going to be that long until it starts again.
mm,
Um, Most probably on my peritoneum, but yeah, she's passed me on to Basingstoke, so I'm on their radar. So if something comes up on my peritoneum, I might have surgery. Obviously depending on how much of it is there and stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a waiting game.
So, I mean, in terms of then, like the treatment then that you have had, like what sort of, like what treatment then did you have you had overall? And then, like, what fears did you have in terms of like side effects of that treatment?
I think when you haven't got cancer or when you don't know a lot about cancer treatment, I think everyone just assumes, oh, you're going to go on chemo, you're going to lose
Mm,
your hair. And
yeah,
I was one of them people that I didn't know enough about cancer treatment.
and then fine.
And I didn't know that you really only lose your hair with certain cancers on certain cancer treatments. So it's like, I guess, hormonal cancers like your breast cancer, cervical cancer. If you go into chemotherapy, you tend to have hair loss. The treatment I was on, I never had hair loss. The only time I lost my hair was through trauma. So through surgeries, I lost quite a lot of hair because of what your body goes through. My hair was actually falling out because of the trauma.
Oh,
Um, so I firstly had liver resection. No, that was second. I had bowel resection to remove that part of the bowel, a large section of the bowel where the tumor was, the primary. Um, and then I come out of that surgery. A week later, we realised that there was a leak and it was a hot mess in there. So I had to go back into surgery and have a stoma. So I had a stoma placed. I was told then that it most probably would be permanent. Um,
is a
and then,
stoma the bag?
yes, so it's an opening in your stomach that you poop out of, basically. So I was pooping out of my stomach for a few years. That's Yeah, that was hard, obviously, to deal with on top of everything else. But I soon got used to it. I named it. I got familiar with it.
You like
Just
naming things.
I did not. I know you know that. I did not really let it stop me from living. So I just did everything with the stoma, and I got to a point where if I had a leak, I had a leak. Shit happens. Um,
Literally.
I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. So yeah, I think that was hard. Had a stoma. There was barely any information in the hospital about a stoma. So I'm waking up, I've got this thing on my stomach. I've got to go home with it. The thing's leaking everywhere. I can't eat the same again. I didn't know what to eat. It was an absolute nightmare. Yeah, it was, yeah. So I had stoma surgery, and then um the cancer on my liver was growing really fast. So I went and had a liver resection in London, at the Royal Free. Amazing, amazing surgeon. Don't love the hospital, just really didn't like it. But the surgeon I had was absolutely amazing, a lovely, lovely guy. And he managed to clear it with clear margins, took a massive chunk of my liver. Um, Hence why I've always got liver problems, because since that surgery, my liver's just never been the same. And
Mm.
so I had chemo for a short period of time. I think that was in between my bowel resection and my liver. But they then found out that I've got this not disease, but basically I can't have 5FU, which is in a lot of chemotherapy that is treated for bowel cancer. So I
Okay.
went on chemotherapy and it nearly killed me. Like, honestly, I was in hospital all the time with it. I only had like 3 or 4 chemotherapies and it nearly finished me off. So I just stopped it.
Mhm.
That had to go, throw that out the window, because it's chemo makes you feel rough, like
Mm.
rough. Not to mention if you've got a problem where you just react badly to it.
Mm.
I think I probably would have gone into cardiac arrest if I had another one, just because I wasn't, nothing in my body was coping with it. So I come off of that, and then when I got diagnosed terminal, they agreed to put me on immunotherapy. So I was on one called pembrolizumab. Never heard of it. Didn't even know what immunotherapy was. It's a game changer, immunotherapy. I know that now, but it's not available to everybody, and there's only certain types of immunotherapy, I believe, that you can have.
Okay.
So obviously I said yes because I couldn't have any more chemo.
Yeah.
I agreed to immunotherapy, but it was only on for palliative reasons. Basically, they told me it would never clear my cancer; it would only stabilize. But from the moment I was put on it, my cancer was either stable or it was shrinking. There was no growth,
Mm.
no progression. Um, yeah, so I am very blessed, basically, that I can't tolerate chemotherapy because there was
Mm.
nothing that they could put me on. And because I'm young and, they've got to do something, I got put on that. So thankfully,
I
I
mean, it
did.
sounds like immunotherapy is then probably something that should be offered to more people then, if it's
Yeah, it
obviously
is.
working better than
Yeah,
chemo.
a lot of people now are going on to immunotherapy. It's definitely more available. As a first line of treatment, I think, because the side effects are minimal if you're
Mm.
lucky. Mostly my side effects were liver related because I had a dodgy liver anyway.
Yeah.
My bilirubin was always too high, or some other marker was too high, and if I fell below a certain point, I'd have to miss one, and then you just gotta keep looking after yourself. And I found that the healthier I was, and some things that I changed,
Mm.
um, really helped. And I think staying active, eating well, and be positive, it got me through like 2 years of that treatment. Uh,
Absolutely.
so yeah, it's good. It's
There
really
was
good.
there was a comment earlier. I just wanted to say so. Aesthetic Nails by Dawn said, "I don't think even the cancer specialists know about cancer. Everyone is different. I think Lisa's attitude towards it has been a massive part of where she is today." Yeah, I think it has. Like,
I love Dawn. Hi, Dawn.
it absolutely makes such a difference, the mindset and the attitude that you have towards cancer and
Mm.
your journey for it.
I think
So,
I think the worst thing you can do is almost treat cancer like, I never treated it like an enemy. I
mm,
treated it as a way of changing things and adjusting things in my life.
I love that.
And I think one thing that I know for sure feeds cancer, and people will say it's certain foods, and it's like, it's stress. If you're
I knew you were
stressed,
going to say stress. Yeah.
I'm telling you now, the calmer you are as a person, the better you'll be. Because
Hmm.
uh yeah, all I can say is just stress is the worst possible thing. Definitely.
Which is really hard because obviously cancer is very stressful, and your
I know.
mind wanders to the future, and you're stressing, are you going to be there for the kids? And but yeah, absolutely. When you said there was one thing, I was like, she's going to say stress. She's going to say stress.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's going to,
Cancer is the devil because it's a thing that makes you stressed, and
yeah,
then being stressed, it feeds on that. But you have to
yeah,
not let that happen. You've got to just laugh in its face and
yeah,
just crack on, basically.
absolutely. So, how do you think cancer has? I mean, obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but how do you think cancer has impacted like you the most, and like how has it changed you as a woman and as a mum, or has it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to sound really weird in saying this, but in getting the worst possible thing I could think of, it's given me the biggest gift I can think of
Yeah,
because
no.
it's made me stop, and it's completely shifted my mindset. And I just don't think I was noticing anything before. I don't think I was noticing any of the little things. I was taking everything for granted.
Hmm.
um, I just wasn't the best version of myself at all. And I can confidently say that the best thing I've got out of all of this is that I really like who I am now. And I don't
Mm,
think I said that before because obviously no one's the perfect mom and no one's a perfect person, but I feel like I am who I want to be now. Like I'm the best mum that I want to be. I'm calmer. Like even my kids and my partner say like, what has happened to you? Like we can't get used to this. Like where I used to react quite easily to things, but
mm,
it's like someone's drugged me. Like I'm so just not bothered anymore.
hmm.
Like someone drops a glass of milk on the floor, it just
Yeah,
doesn't bother me. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, why was you holding it like that or whatever? But
yeah,
now I'm just like, do you know what? It doesn't matter. It just
yeah.
doesn't matter. So I actually really like who it's made me. I am mentally messed up from it. I'm not going to lie. Like the trauma has really, really affected me. And I don't think that's going to take a long time to heal myself from that if I ever do.
Mm,
Um, but I do prefer the person I am now. And I feel like the kids um, love the person I've become through this. I thought I'd. Some people might think you get all bitter and twisted and stuff, but it wasn't the way for me. And I just
mm.
felt I'm now grateful, so grateful for everything I've got. Like it's a blessing.
That's the thing, and I have the same like perception. It just because it completely opens your eyes to how short life can be, and how there's no point in getting so stressed over the silly little things. Because I'm so much more a calmer mum now. Like
Yeah.
before, I'd get so peed off if they'd done something, and now I'm like, is it really worth me having a go at them?
Mm,
Like, no, it's not. Like, just let it go.
I
It
know.
just, it completely, it definitely does change your life, and it's how you then allow that change.
Yeah, yeah. I think just don't sweat the small stuff. It is
Yeah.
really just I don't know. I feel like I'm much more approachable now for my children. I'm much more present
Mm,
to them. That maybe I was checked out before and I was too busy or I was too stressed and I didn't have enough sleep. But I feel like now I'm so much more available to them, and in doing that, they communicate with me more. I know more about them as little
mm.
that they are because they go to school so much. You don't see that part of their life, but I actually now they do sit and they talk to me and they open up to me. And I feel sad that I wasn't that person before, but sometimes it does take something like this to
That's the
knock
thing.
sense.
And I think it does, and it just makes you then more present.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lovely, lovely feeling, and I just pray that it carries on, basically. I'm living scan to scan, so it's not a nice way to live. But as soon as I've had the scan results, I can then disassociate with my disease for a good three
Yeah.
months, which is lovely. Like this summer, I'll be brilliant. I'll be in the best mood ever because I've recently had a scan result. And I've had a sigmoidoscopy on Saturday. So that was clear. So I'm so relieved, like that I can just get
Yeah.
on with my life for 3 months at a time.
Absolutely. So if somebody is listening to this, and I mean, like you said, stress is one thing that you would say for them to sort of not let take over, but is there any other advice that you would give to someone who's like in the thick of their cancer battle?
I think I would just say don't listen to the doctors or specialists telling you that you're this statistic and you're this
Mm,
number chart, and I don't know, 30% of people in your situation, blah blah blah. Like, you are a person, you have
mm,
your own mind and your own strength, and everyone is different, and you have to just believe that if I can get given 6 months and still be sitting here now, like, it's possible to just
absolutely.
live through it, live with it, and be the best version of yourself, and just like, just spread
Live.
awareness, do some good, like, help people. That's what my
Yeah.
Instagram page is for. Like, I supported over 60 people going through a diagnosis and all the way through to surgery until now. Like, there is some good to be done in the world. Like, you have to just become the best person and fight for yourself. Like,
Yeah. And I love that. That's the thing about like Instagram and TikTok is like I've come across people like you who you're dealing with so much stuff yourself, but yet you're still then going out there and helping others. And I think it's just an absolute bloody amazing thing. And like you should be so proud of yourself because it's so inspiring and it's what people should be doing and there should be more of that in the world.
well, you're doing it too, love. So
So lastly, what one word would you associate with cancer?
I don't know if I can swear this much on here. I don't know
I
how.
don't know.
I mean, it's hard for me. I need to swear to actually get it out. But one word, oh my God, just, just believe. Believe in yourself. Believe that it's possible, and believe that you're not just a number on that piece of paper, because they're always making you feel like you're just this person on a sheet of paper that means nothing,
Mm,
in something, and you are so valuable to so many people, and you've just got to, like, change. If you were not fit enough or not healthy enough, or you could be better, just be better, then make
yeah,
it better. And honestly, I mean, you'll live as long as you want to live. Just carry on, until you can't.
yeah,
And I'm going to keep moving until my legs can carry me, until it makes me stop. Like, there's nothing stopping me. So yeah, I just want people to just not write themselves off.
yeah.
Cancer's just a word. That's exactly what it is. It's called
Hmm.
cancer. A lot of people get cancer. What is it? 1 in 2 people get
Yeah,
cancer. So many people are going to get it or have got it, and they just need to talk about it and
yeah,
support each other. And it's not a taboo subject. It's natural. Cancer is a natural
exactly.
occurrence. It's how you deal with it, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing, we have to normalize it because, like you say, it is a word. It's not a sentence. It's not a death sentence. It is just a word.
Yeah.
It can be beaten, and there are people out there beating it. And the more we raise that awareness, the more early detection, happens, and the more lives that get saved. So,
And I think also I'd like to say that a lot of people that will go for a diagnosis are going to have to be their own advocate in this, because if I could turn back time, obviously I would have made people listen to me at the
Yeah.
GP. If you think there's something wrong, you got to fight for answers. And I mean,
Hmm.
fight, even if you go to the hospital and refuse to leave until they've done all the necessary tests, just do it. Don't worry if nothing comes of it. You need to
Mm.
find, but I just think I wish I fought for myself harder back then than I did.
This is the thing that I have found from doing Unbreakable Voices is that this does seem to be a common occurrence. And even like with me, I went to the doctors and I first was told that it was a allergic reaction to something. And it was only because I was like, I don't think it is an allergic reaction to something. And so I went back and then, because it was through COVID time, I then demanded to see a doctor. And then they were then like, no, we don't know what it is. And we went to a hospital and biopsy and, and then found out. But if I hadn't have gone back,
Yeah,
so I think if you do know your body and you know something isn't right, regardless of what the doctor is telling you, go
yeah.
back. You have to.
There's a massive thing, isn't there, where people aren't being listened to within their GP appointments and things.
Mhm.
Not okay. People are
Right.
really stressed, and I didn't get listened to 3 years with the same symptoms, and you think someone might have run a test, like,
Yeah. It's so long.
sorry. Yeah, it's bad. I really want that to change. It really scares me actually that people are going to their doctors and just being told one. I got told I had food intolerance. That was my problem. I had a food intolerance. I had to take IBS pills, and that would solve all my problems. Yeah, it's not good. It's
No.
scary, really
Yeah.
scary.
So yeah, so if anyone is listening and they have been to the doctors and they've been told and they're not sure, go back because
Keep going.
yeah, just keep going. Just keep going.
If you've got some money in the bank, just go private.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly.
Done. Like, it's worth the money. You'd spend like thousands of pounds on your pet or your house or a
Yeah.
holiday. Why wouldn't you spend it on your health? Like, if there's something troubling you, get answers. It might be
Mm,
nothing, it might be something. I wish I did,
yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I've so appreciated you coming and telling your story. You are just so
Oh,
inspiring and you're beautiful inside and out. And yeah, just a pleasure to
oh,
have you.
thank you. You are too, my lovely. Right, I'll let you get on with your day. I'll
You too.
speak to you soon.
All
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.